Hi, Luca. Ciao.
Hi, Mohab. How are you?
Fine.
Good.
Again in our studios, thank you.
Hi,
We saw
everyone.
him walking around SORINT Lab, so we confiscated him to have this episode.
I'm here.
Hope no one takes him from us. So, Luca, thank you, as usual, for your time.
Thanks to you.
Curious to know the question. You know the guest, of course. Would you like to know the question?
Yes, please, the question.
You know, I like to talk sometimes, so I need to tell you some numbers to explain why we concluded this question.
Okay.
Software development accounts as the third in IT spending worldwide in the first quarter of 2025. AI, another insight we saw very fascinating. AI augmented software development will drive significant productivity in 2027, but only 8% improvement in business outcome. So the question of the episode, how AI and a platform solution can help improve productivity across all software development life cycle.
Oh, this is a very important question, very complex topics for today, but it's very important right now. This is the productivity, software development, AI. You touch all the important keywords for today.
No perspective. There is nothing right, there is nothing wrong. So our job is to hear from everyone, try to make logic out of the numbers of what we see. So we have our guest talk about the platform part, the second part of the question. So we have Francesco Soncini Sessa from MIA Platform. He is a co-founder and head of strategic alliance at MIA Platform. Hi, Francesco.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Very well. Thank you to invite me here.
Thank you for accepting. Thank you for accepting the invitation. I feel lucky to be sitting with Luca and you in one call, so I want to get the most out of it really with all my questions. Please forgive me.
Yeah, and thank you because the question is very hot topic today.
Trending. Every keyword in the question is somehow trending.
Yeah.
So time, let me manage it as much as possible. Before I pass my first questions and the flame of questions starts, let me give context to people who are not so much into the development domain in IT. To develop a software, to build a software, there is different approaches. There is low code, no code, the traditional way, which is more closed for regulated industry. We have do-it-yourself, like when you use a framework or you open, Vue for front end, back end, go blah, blah, do it whatever approach you want. There is the IDP, internal development portal, something like Salesforce, something like MIA Platform, which we're going to hear today from. And then we have Cloud IDE and AI app builders. We're going to go into all of them, but these are the 6 approaches. You won't find this online. This is my own wording. I categorize it like this. Sometimes they will keep low code in one category and no code in others. I combine them. So MIA Platform, one of Gartner's Magic Quadrant in 2024 for the IDP area, approach for software development, for so many reasons. It's next to Cloudflare, Huawei, Amazon Web Server, you name it. Did I say it correctly, Francesco? Did I introduce MIA Platform correctly?
You introduced it correctly. Probably you overcomplicated a little bit in this scenario. MIA Platform is an IDP, and IDP stands for Internal Developer Platform. That is a little bit different from pure portal, because portal is something that allows discoverability of existing project and activity. An example of only portal is something like Backstage, that is a component open source. Obviously, there are other commercial products on that. IDP is typically containing a portal, so it's not wrong what you said, but add another important aspect, that is the ability of orchestrating the different component, infrastructural, but also software, that are required for implementing a software development lifecycle in a cloud native manner. Cloud native manner stands for not only for cloud, but with the style of development of cloud application. So it's a long word, and a broad concept that put together microservice style, API first, distributed pieces of independent logic that you use for combining business final functionality. So the point of an IDP is not to replace component like AWS or Kubernetes or pipeline, but providing a possibility of templatize their use in order to create some sort of reusable blueprint and offer this functionality to the final user via portal insert service. And that's put together the benefit of having a governance that is configured by people like ops or a software reliability engineer, but without the bottleneck of interacting with them via ticketing system. But instead, you provide guided self-service manner of using what they pre-configured for you in terms of best practice inside the organization.
Perfect definition. Provide standardized and consistent developers experience with access to build and deployment pipelines in other areas. I think it's a fair brief for what is MIA for those who don't know, and where does it stand in the software development domain, let me call it, or let's define it like this. So a little step back, can we hear from your perspective, Francesco, where is the world of software development evolving?
The software of the creation of software is very in transformation, in my point of view. A big force that is leading this changement is the rise of AI solution. So the possibility of using AI for empowering the developer, but also to bring at the table not pure developer, but some more business technician that can create code, even if they are not coder. It's something that can be ignored. And the big potentiality here, and you mentioned it in your introduction, is the fact that we can prototype in a simple manner, putting in some way more in position of understanding and power the product owner. So the people that know the purpose of the code and the functionality we want to deliver. So we can accelerate the prototypation, the evaluation of new pieces of code and functionality, and invest on industrialize, making them at scale, only the ones that are very valuable. That is the big changement that AI are promising and opening as an opportunity.
Yeah, so you mentioned also the concept of platform that is, from my point of view, because of software development lifecycle, the software development process is complex, can be complex. There are many users, many contributors to the software developer, and the platform connect every users based on their role, their knowledge, their domain, information domain, system, and so on. Now, in the platform, there is a new user that is the AI, the agentic AI, someone that can help empower, as you mentioned before, the developers, but not only, so other users, the business users.
Other users, that is the correct point. In some way, the power of AI, with their huge capability of be able to speak different language, is a way of making accessible the infrastructure, the platform itself, the backbone of the organization, also to non-technical people. And so, in some way, operate as a point of conjunction and a reduction of bottleneck and difficulty of comprehension in both parts of the organization.
Sound and clear. I guess everything that was said so far, many would agree on. Luca doesn't like when I use the word regulated. So I picked some of your keywords and Luca's keywords, and I put you this question in this way, Francesco. How should companies approach AI in software development? Given that, according to what we're saying, MIA platform will help you regulate your AI initiatives and standardize some aspects. Tell us, please, here, how is that? How do you see this?
I think that AI, as I said, is something that can be ignored, but it's also something that be handled with some on the right attention, because in reality, the wide adoption of not controlled use of AI can create important pitfall for the organization, can proliferate a lot of code that is not necessary, and that's exposed to risk and cost of maintaining it. From the other angle, it can in some way access to wrong or not correct data, and that may lead the organization to wrong decision on problem or pitfall in terms of functionality and service. So regulated means designing and having governance on the way of delivering AI capability inside your organization. And the key point here is to tailor agentic AI around the task and the activity of your people, instead of having embedded, not planned functionality inside the application.
So where everyone is working alone, everyone is working in his own way of working.
Exactly.
This
also,
from
are siloed intelligence that are not the whole context of your activity. Important here to understand is that you have to provide AI with the right data, verified data, and the right privilege of acting on your existing tool. So in order to make this very, very simple, imagine that if you have an internal platform, you may industrialize the way of you are managing the infrastructural part, so platform engineering initiative. And so you collect information about your asset in that area. Then you can manage the data part of your platform. So you can expose the data from your monolithic existing application that are important for your core business, but that data are a value that you want to provide to your AI, but also to different channel and new digital initiative. And if you do this via a shared platform, you collect information also on that part. And finally, the third piece is the asset that you want to reuse in your code base. So the component that in some way you want that be reused in different initiatives. Look at this like, for example, payment gateway. You don't want to have different channels. You are using different payment gateways. It's better to have them under a single control, or other type of IT asset that you want to share across the domain. All of this can be seen as a context that you can control, and you can inject in this context the privilege, the access, and this context is something that you can pass to the engine of AI of your choice in order to create this agentic. That is a sort of digital twin of your organization, and that is something that you can manage via an internal developer platform. And so could be, in some way, the access point for connecting and start using the engine of AI of your choice.
Yeah, and also because Mohab mentioned, well, I'm not against the regulation.
The word.
I prefer discipline, how to discipline the use of. But it is the same concept, I think. And also, you, as you started, you mentioned at the beginning different approaches. So we had the low code now and so on, but also, or how to use framework languages and so on. The SDLC is more complicated because there are many actors, and also we added also the cloud native approach, and now could be the A native approach. But you, as a founder of the MIA platform, you started the MIA platform in 2016, if it is correct. So you were creating the platform for the SDLC years ago, before the AI. So that's why and you are the good guy to answer our question, because now you are putting inside in a mature platform, let me say, something new. So you know very well how to develop how to help the developers and the many actors of the SDLC. So this is very important point.
Yes.
And you know how to discipline, how to add this variable of AI in the
gives an advantage to me a platform in comparison to some products. I don't want to mention name, who was just started 2 years ago, when 1 year ago, when AI became a thing, when AI became
correct. This is very
a tool for productivity. Francesco, I prepared for you a quick, easy, agree or disagree question. Really, as simple. Of course, we would like to know elaboration on what you agree and you disagree on. So, first question. In a make or buy approach, we can say that MIA platform is more buy than make. Agree or disagree?
I disagree, because definitely is a buy because it's a product, but in some way is a builder. It's a builder of the proprietary platform of the final user. And so it's a way of seeing the possibility to have a vehicle, but a legal vehicle. So in some way, you can tailor the vehicle on your needs, and is a tool for the development. So it's important to reuse, orchestrate the cherry picking, the combination of tool behind the scene that the organization has partially in place, and maybe change it over the journey. And so it's not out of the shelf and a rigid buy.
We are very familiar with the terms, the term build, because our payoff is building great technology. So we are we agree. I don't know if there's a question.
No,
I agree.
It's a perspective. When I'm listening to our users are build. Okay. So it's a make. And talking about that, I would like to highlight to our audience, there is a case study which initiated all of this episode, and inviting Francesco, I'll make sure it's linked here, which we partnered with MIA platform for a project related to banking industry, software development. Talk about this later. Question number 2, getting started with MIA platform requires high knowledge in various fields like DevOps, UI, UX, back-end coding. Agree or disagree?
Again, sorry, I disagree. Because in reality, we are an orchestrator, and we provide the right tool to the different people of the broad software development lifecycle world. As I said before, you can have a pure AI first for business technician, so they don't have to understand the complexity behind the scene. And so they probably need less knowledge in terms of DevOps, as you mentioned, on other aspects, but they have a deeper understanding of the business need. Another opposite angle, we can simplify the journeys of the DevOps. So in that scenario, they are shaping the pieces of the platform behind the scene to be provided self-service to the other one. Obviously, that's one need to have a deep understanding of the DevOps, but this is their journey, and so they don't need to have the other. So it's not required a high level of understanding, but is required the level of what is your core business, and the tool reduce the cognitive load, the complexity on the other pieces that you are not interested to deal with.
Any perspective? No. Okay, no comment. Question 3, MIA platform locks customers into specific technologies, making it difficult to migrate away or to move away after development. I think you would agree.
I smile because I have to disagree again. So we decided. Obviously, we are looking for a lock-in of benefits. So we dream that the people that are using our product are still using it because the increase of productivity. But in reality, because we are an orchestrator, as I said before, we are not the engine of your platform. So in some way, what you build using MIA platform is still under your control. And so you can remove the orchestrator, remove the front end, but keep the benefit of the pieces behind the scene. Obviously, you lose some productivity because you have to perform some manual things that before you automate using our product. But
you're moving. At this point, you are moving away from the platform. So, of course, you won't have the features of the platform, the functionality.
Functionality is still functioning.
So you can move your product from MIA platform easy, not easy as You do it in the morning, but I mean, you can export files and generate a file in which you would later use in another technology or through another technology, whatever it was.
Well, this is a promise that we are offering to all of our customers, and we still design our component to create things in a standard way in order to be reusable also without our component and our product. And we have some pieces that are open source just for this part in order to guarantee this possibility. Obviously, as I said before, we are also working on big advantage of our automation in order to convince you that it's better to have our product instead of doing it manually.
Sounding clear. I think this question you will agree on. Mohab platform empowers developers through self-service capabilities and helps reduce their cognitive load, allowing them to focus more on business logic.
I totally agree. That is the precise purpose of an IDP, an internal developer platform. As I said before, it's allowed to reduce the cognitive load for people that don't have to work on that field. Allowed the full control of people that are focused on that field to controlling and changing it. This is the reason why I said it's not a totally buy. So I'm not receiving a black box that I can control. But instead, I allowed the DevOps to focus on their part and the software application engineering to focus on there.
It's very important for the productivity, for the quality also, because we need to pay attention to the quality of the production of the and so on. So
and do you, this question I basically wanted to mention, because if you remember in the introduction, Luca, we've talked about 8% improvement in business outcomes, although AI augmented software development will help productivity. Do you have any point on this? Thank you, Francesco, of course. Why are they saying there's a study that says AI augmented software development is gonna help a lot in productivity, yet only 8% outcomes, business outcomes? I feel it has to do with this question. Anyone has any comment?
I don't know if you want to start, Francesco.
I have a comment on that, and I think is because it's related to the current early day of adoption. So as I said before, the big things that immediately is visible with AI is the increase of productivity. So I can create easily 100 line of code without effort, and that is the productivity. But that is not a guarantee of business outcome, because if you don't know the direction, the destination that you want to reach, and you are driving 100 kilometers per hour in the wrong direction, you are moving far from your destination. So again, I think it is important to put attention on the control of this energy, and in reality, try to minimize the new code, but increase the reusability. And so the combination of AI and a platform is guaranteed this to you, because allowed you to have the context, as we said before, the catalog of reusable component. And so you can start, for example, from a blueprint and identify what is already available and what are the pieces that should be created by zero. Then when I create these pieces, I can have a prototype with AI that has the power of generating it very fast. And then I can have a inspection of these pieces via a more human supervision of this type of activity. So there is this type of combination that will increase the business outcome. Definitely, I think so. It's not a pure matter of technology, but in reality, it's a matter of changing a little bit the process around it and involving all the right stakeholders on this type of initiative, and not only the developer that is able to create a huge quantity of new code.
Yeah, because you said, first of all, that we are in an early stage, so this is true. We need to rethink the process, because this is the key point on improving the productivity and also the business outcome, because we can say that AI mixed with a platform, putting together, avoiding silos, putting together all the users, if we are able to validate the prototype very fast with the business involved, really involved in every aspect and through the process, to the entire process, in every single point of the process, it will increase the business outcome. I think that we will see an increase of this business outcome. And also the software becoming more pervasive, more and more, because we will see a lot of new application, new features and so on. Yeah,
new integrations. Yeah, it's not about deploying code, as you said, Francesco, as you said it also, Luca, in a different way. It's about guiding these features into something that really the business needed by involving all the stakeholders. Back to that agree, disagree, I have the last question. In the coming years, are internal development platforms, IDPs, expected to become widely adopted across organizations and increasingly integrate AI-powered capabilities? How is the MEA vision expansion?
I think that I totally agree again, because there are several reports in that direction. And in general, every step in our history show that we start with some early adopter and then we automate the factor of software. So nowadays, every business understands that it's not something rare to have a project for new functionality, but it's something that is a daily activity, a core part of their business. And so definitely they want to create their internal reusable platform. And the AI, as I said before, is an important element to make this internal asset accessible to all the people, not only to the developer. And so simplified interaction, allow discoverability and reusability, understand better the documentation, support every single task around the software life cycle. So I definitely think that will be a broad adoption. Obviously, we are, as I said before, at the beginning of this type of journey. So if it's exactly what we are envisioning today, I'm not 100% sure, but definitely will be industrialized the way of managing business services.
Yeah, because we are rethinking the process, we are improving the process, we are putting more elements, adding AI and so on. So a platform can help to be disciplined. So this is the keyword is discipline. Yeah, use discipline. So
we can say we are in a phase now where we are realizing that we can generate a lot of code and a lot of features, and soon in the future we're the business people are gonna understand. Let's guide this effort, that productivity effort, towards a real business. But are we in this phase? Are we here now?
Yes, because we are trying to go fast in the validation. So at the beginning of because we need to bring productivity, we need to bring many things that we are talking about in this episode, but also we need to pay attention to the value. So the value, you need to validate the value, to have everyone involved from the beginning and in every aspect of the process and so on. So this will help.
This is where
more business outcomes, I think.
May I add a couple of points to this one, because I think are crucial. We are seeing this, and we are also realizing that software is very pervasive. Also in the recent day, in the world situation, we are understanding how crucial it is for critical public utility services. That doesn't mean only for public company, but also private one. But they are at the heart of our transportation, hospital, security, communication, payment. A lot of our daily life is in reality on top of invisible pieces of software. And so also the attention to hardening them is becoming crucial. And also, and here is correct word, regulation is changing. So it's important to have an evolvable vision, so an internal platform for transforming a little bit according to the evolution on AI, but also the evolution in the regulation for controlling that system. And I referred into AI Act, NIS2, other type of
absolutely
public rules to be compliant with.
all towards modernizing the operation and improving efficiency of the company. This is the answer. You need a software, you need a software product, you need something.
And also taking care of the regulation, because you can't ignore the needs to, you can't ignore that you are part of a supply chain of very important.
Loop, once you're out of it, you are out of the game or out of the market in a way or another. So companies are obliged to do this to grow and to move forward. We're coming to a close, Francesco. I'm not going to take more of your time, but as you're here, can I have your thoughts, please, on Replit and Lovable?
You are talking about the vibe coding.
Yes. It's not a competing approach, is it? We are all competing towards one goal. Can I hear something from you, please?
This is something we already touched before. So I think that having tools that support non-native developers is important, especially for prototype and creation of some viable initial experimental product. Yep. But the approach of having a platform behind the scene is putting together the discovery, the prototype part, with the engineering and putting at scale the second part. Allows you to have in a single place, via a unified portal, if you want, the possibility to granularly control AI first approach with code first approach. And this combining these two that you get the maximum value. So I think that tools are fantastic and need to be put on top of your context, your control, and your platform initiative, not as a standalone. Otherwise, we are facing the problem we discussed before.
Honestly, I thought Francesco was not going to like this question. I thought of it as competitor, but really, if your theoretical mindset, no, it's fine to have other approaches in the market. It's fine to fill gaps of other and many needs. Anything you want to add about that?
No, I think that the same. The vibe coding is something that also can be interesting at the point of view, because it's a new, let me say, approach to the development of specific software for prototyping, good for prototyping, and this is again something very close to the silos concept, but it can help you can't ignore again the vibe coding, and it can help to better understand how to improve the SDLC in general, in some way, the first phase, I think.
Working in different stratas, different streets, all of us. Last question, I promise you, Francesco, and then we recap and we close. You had an interview with Sky, I saw it on YouTube, I think 3 days ago, about a project called Kube Green, related to emission or reducing emission that comes from the infrastructure. And of course, to note for our viewers that 1.4% of the global emissions comes from the IT sector. It's not big, but still there. If we can do something, it will be helpful. And MIA platform are doing something. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. I think that at the moment is not so big compared to other sectors like for example, etc., but will grow. And especially the wide adoption of AI will push up this percentage. So I think it's important, and it's something that we are considering in MIA platform. So putting again in place an internal platform allows the company to take evidence also of this aspect and measure that one. You mentioned Kube Green. Kube Green is an open source component that we released that was independent from your platform that allows you to make some concrete measuration of reduction of your footprint in terms of green economy, let me say, in terms of switching off microservices that you are not using that moment. So scale down the functionality is obviously a small piece, but there is an initial concrete way of seeing it and inserting it inside best practice of software development lifecycle.
Yeah, we must include the Kube Green to our Green IT initiatives, because we launched the Green IT with the book Green IT. So this is very interesting for us. Because Green IT initiatives cover the infrastructure, but also the software development. And now we will release a special edition for AI.
We'll add the link for the book here in case you want to pre-order it.
And we must include the Kube Green in the best practices on the suggestion.
Agree. So, sure. And I also wanted to add to this, Luca, and take your last perspective, and then we close it. IT, yes, is 1.4%. That's not a lot, as Francesco said, and we know there is more industries draining this. But we have a responsibility towards other companies, like our IT green initiatives, like.
Yeah, and also
we have a role here.
Yeah, I want to say also, well, to view from a different perspective, because you mentioned the NIS 2, that is resiliency. Green IT is, we talk about the green IT, about how to take care of the environment and so on, because we are consuming, AI is consuming, so it's very important. But also, from a resilient point of view, the energy will be a very fragile, let me say, asset from
resource.
So we will see something happen, and we need to be more concrete on approaching the green IT, on approaching consumption, because energy is not infinite. So
I don't want to enter into politics, but we see these days what's happening. We are very fragile. Yeah.
So this is very. So there are many perspectives when the green IT, and not only the green aspect, the environment, and also this kind of aspect, but also the resilience is very important.
Agree. And we have a role, all of us, even if it's a small thing in a whole sea, a drop in a sea, it's still a role. Francesco, thank you so much. To recap very quickly, software engineer leaders need to diverse the skills, need to shift the focus to measure the output instead of what we're doing on daily basis, the business output. I mean, it's not about the 8%, it is more about the 8%, not how many lines of code you can produce. Please check Mia platform on mia/platform.eu. You can also check the case study that we did together using Mia platform, and we are doing the maintenance of this project, by the way. You can read about it. Again, thank you so much, Francesco, CFO and Head of Strategic Alliance at Mia platform. Grazie mille. Thank you so much for
joining us. Thank you to be here. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.